What is happening today? We'll watch out for GPT Healthcare. Now, GPT Healthcare reported their numbers. Margins, a slight bit of a decline. Revenues, while the profits have managed to see some bit of a growth there. But the average revenue per bed, that's seen an improvement. So what more we should be expecting from the company going forward? We do have the management joining in with us. Atul Tantia, Group CFO at GPT Healthcare, joining in with us. Thank you so much, Atul, for joining in with us this morning on ET Now. And I want to start by actually talking about the margins, which have seen a slight bit of a contraction in quarter 4. What is it that one should be expecting from the margin front? Is this 23% level, or could we expect a bit more pressure going forward, or 23% is something that you will sustain going forward in FY25?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. So to answer your question in terms of the margins, we expect going forward the margins to be maintained at 23% plus levels from the existing hospitals. Obviously, we are going to commission a hospital in Raipur in this financial year. So initially, that will lead to some pressure on the margins, but the existing hospitals will lead to a healthy margin of 23 to 24%.
Okay, and there has been good growth in the ARPOB for FY24. That scaled up to about 32,900 odd crores. What's the guidance as to where you see this number headed?
So we are focused on this mid to high income part of the society, and we are very conscious of the fact that the ARPOB needs to be quite optimal so that they are able to afford that kind of corporate healthcare. The ARPOB was about the 32,900 mark last year, and we expect a growth of almost 7 to 8% going forward for this year as well.
Atul, give us some color on what the occupancy levels are in the quarter gone by, and where is it that you see them for FY25?
Sure. So in terms of the occupancy levels, at the network level, we were at 59%. The mature hospitals like Dum Dum was north of 75% at almost 77%. Salt Lake Hospital, the occupancy per se has slightly come down because we have been able to reduce the average length of stay on account of more robotic surgeries that we are conducting there. So the occupancy at a headline number was almost 61% there. The Dum Dum and the Howrah and the Agartala hospitals are where the occupancy is rising significantly, and we expect them to maintain the growth momentum going forward as well. For this year, we expect occupancy to hit the 65% mark on a full year basis.
65% is what is the occupancy one could expect in FY25. But you do have an upcoming hospital in Raipur. Yes. So you will have an upcoming hospital that's in Raipur, expected to be commissioned by the end of Q4 FY25, as well as the oncology side, which is commissioned in the Agartala hospital. That is also December 2024. We should expect that by. What is the incremental revenue this will add in terms for your books? How much addition is there?
So Raipur will hardly add much of revenues in this financial year. It's a 150-bed hospital, which will be commissioned, like you said, in the end of Q4 FY25. So this financial year, we'll hardly see any revenues from the Raipur, maybe a couple of crores. Going forward, this hospital at a mature level would see revenues of almost 100 crores in the next 3 years. And we expect the Raipur hospital to contribute significantly to the balance sheet and the P&L going forward as well. In terms of the radiation oncology setup in Agartala, we expect that to also contribute 10 to 15 crores revenues post its commissioning.
Right. And lastly, could you give us some sense on the kind of revenue and PAT growth that you're anticipating for the full year?
Sure. So for the full year, we expect a revenue growth between 14 to 15%. PAT obviously will grow disproportionately because as part of the IPO proceeds, we have been able to fully liquidate our debt. So we have hardly any debt on the balance sheet. We have only 8 odd crores debt on the balance sheet, which we also will be repaying in this financial year from the internal accruals. Against that, we also have a lot of investments sitting on the balance sheet to service the new hospitals. So PAT would grow by almost 25 to 30% this year as well.
Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much once again for joining in and talking about your numbers.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.